Are you ready to be inspired, empowered, and uplifted? Get ready for a brand new show that celebrates the incredible journey of women everywhere.
From the comfort of your home, interact with us through our YouTube and Facebook channel, Jesus Prevails Church, for an hour filled with inspiration, wisdom, and faith. It is a platform where we delve into stories of remarkable women who blossom and thrive through grace, beauty, and modesty.
As we embark on this incredible journey together, we draw inspiration from Proverbs 31, 10 to 12. In a world where noble character is a rare gem, there shines a woman who embodies the essence of Proverbs 31.
Join us every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. as we embark on an interactive session like no other. Introducing
the Woman of Excellence Show. Join us for the Woman of Excellence Show.
Because you, my friend,
are a woman of excellence. Are you ready to be inspired, empowered, and uplifted? Get ready for a brand new show that celebrates the incredible journey of women everywhere.
From the comfort of your home, interact with us through our YouTube and Facebook channel, Jesus Prevails Church, for an hour filled with inspiration, wisdom, and faith. It is a platform where we delve into stories of remarkable women who blossom and thrive through grace, beauty, and modesty.
As we embark on this incredible journey together, we draw inspiration from Proverbs 31, 10 to 12. In a world where noble character is a rare gem, there shines a woman who embodies the essence of Proverbs 31.
Join us every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. as we embark on an interactive session like no other. Introducing
the Woman of Excellence Show. Join us for the Woman of Excellence Show.
Because you, my friend,
are a woman of excellence.
Good evening. Welcome back to the Woman of Excellence Show. It's good to have you, our viewers, tuned in from wherever you are watching us from your homes, your car, from wherever you are. Karibuni sana. And we would like to apologize that last week we didn't have our show. It's due to unforeseen circumstances, but we are really sorry. We apologize for that. But today we are back, bigger and better. Yes. And we are ready to have a conversation with you. We are on Facebook as Jesus Prevails Church and also on YouTube as Jesus Prevails Church. Karibuni sana. My name is Miriam Wambua.
And my name is Suzzane Calisto. It's always wonderful and a privilege to have you in the show. Yeah, karibuni sana. Today we are, as you said, bigger and better.
Yeah.
And just a reminder, we have been reading the book of Esther and talking about the woman Esther, the women of the Bible.
Yeah.
And we are focusing on Esther.
The woman Esther in the Bible.
And today we have a small subtopic, and we've said it's called "Do Not Be Silent."
Yani usinyamaze.
Usikimie.
Yes.
Yes. Usinyamaze, usikimie. Just to make a small introduction of where we're going to start from today, is that we have been doing a Bible study. And to do a Bible study, it is important, and it is key to notice the context, the time and the season in which the book is written, or in which the events of that book are carried out. And in this context, we are talking about the book of Esther. And in the book of Esther, because every word in the Bible, everything in the Bible has a meaning. It is not written there to make a sentence. It's not written there to make meaning later. Everything in the Bible has a meaning. And the Bible has a context. And God is very coordinated in the Bible.
Very true and very intentional.
And intentional. And as we read the book of Esther, we notice that God has months. There are months that are mentioned in the book of Esther. And that's the month of Nisan and the month of Adar. So through this, we dug deeper and we noticed that the Bible has a calendar.
Yep. The Bible has a calendar, and we have a biblical months. Just like Sue has said, in the book of Esther, the Bible has talked about 2 months of the Bible. That is the month of Nisan and Adar, right?
Yeah.
I would just like to take you through the months of the Bible. These months are Nisan, just like we've said. Nisan is the first month in the biblical calendar. We have the biblical calendar and we have the Gregorian calendar, where the first month of the Gregorian calendar is January,
Yes.
calendar year 2. And then we've also learned that there is the biblical calendar, that the calendar of God. And when you read out the Bible, you realize God does not mention January or February or March when he's describing seasons and times. He's using his months, the biblical months. That's why in the book of Esther, I talk about the month of Nisan. So just like in the Gregorian calendar, we have the 12 months in the whole year. The same in the biblical calendar, we have 12 months, where the beginning of the month is Nisan. So let me just take you through the months, and then we can discuss about the biblical months maybe on our later shows. So we have the 12 months in the biblical calendar. The first month is Nisan. Then we have Iyar, we have Sivan, we have Tammuz, we have Av, we have the month of Elul, the month of Tishri, we have the month of Heshvan, Kislev, Tevet, Shivat, and the month of Adar, where we have said the month of Nisan and Adar are the one talked in the book of Esther.
Yeah,
right?
that is very accurate. And you'll find yourself that you've read these months in the Bible, but you just skip them because for you, okay, it's that month in that time of God. But it is very important to read them and study them as you're studying the Bible. Again, as I have said, because there's nothing in the Bible that is to be left unexplained, because
true.
God has a purpose and He's very intentional, even in everything that He says in His Word. Because these months are related to different tribes. The tribes of Israel were 12 also. So every month relates to a certain tribe of Israel.
Very true.
And the book of the month of Adar relates to the tribe of Asher.
Very true, yes.
And the month of Nisan relates to the tribe of Judah. So every time when the blessings of the month of Adar are mentioned, that the blessings that God gave to the tribe of Asher. Yes. So it's a very interesting journey to take when you start studying them. And as we continue, we just dug deeper into today we are going to dig deeper into the month of Nisan and Adar, because they're the ones that are mentioned in the book of Esther. And mainly we're going to look at Adar because we want to see the events that have taken place in the Bible when it comes to the month of Adar.
Yeah.
And we found some. We start with you.
We saw in the book of in the month of Nisan, the Bible says talks about it's a month where
the month of Adar.
No, the month of Nisan.
Okay.
We're starting with the month of Nisan of the month of Adar.
Okay.
Either way, let me start with the month of Adar because I think the month of Nisan has evaporated. The month of Adar is where we see, according to the book of Esther, where Esther chapter 3 verse 7 talks about times where Haman and Mordecai's beef had started, and that time is where Haman decided or felt like Mordecai needed to die. So he called his team and they threw lots down to choose which month they can kill or do away with the Mordecais. So in the book of Esther 3, we see from the verse 7, the Bible talks about the month of Nisan, where they cast the lots, and then the lots landed in the month of Adar, the month of Adar, where now Mordecai was supposed to be killed and to be swept away, right?
Yes, and it is also very important to notice that as much as we read the book of Esther, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, these things look like they were happening back to back to back to back. But it's not true. This thing happened over years, probably even 2 or more, over different years. Because we say in the time of Nisan is when Haman and Mordecai started disagreeing, and they cast lots and they said, now Haman cast lots, and he said, now the month that the lot will fall on is when the Jews will be persecuted. And it fell on Adar. So you see, like, that's another whole year, from the beginning to the end. We also say that Esther was prepared for a whole year and a few months. So just because you read the Bible, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, it does not mean
it happened to you.
Ati leo tuko hivi, kesho tuko hivi. No, these things have taken time and time and time. So it has taken time also for Esther to be in the palace, so that this fight brews, and there's a whole plot to kill the Jews, and also to see other things that happen, other events that have happened in the month of Adar, is the plagues. The plagues,
plague of darkness.
The plague of darkness, the one that happened wakitoka huko Misri.
Very true.
It took place in the month of Adar. Also, the birth of Moses, when the firstborns were being killed, when Moses survived, it was during
the month of
Adar. So this
and the same month Moses died also.
Yeah, it's also the same. The mystery in that, that it's the same month that also Moses died. So when you look at, as you were discussing with my co-host here, we realized that the month of Adar is not an easy month. According to the events that took place in the Bible, they have two conflicting ends, in which one end might lose and another one might win, depending on the end that God is in.
Yes, comparing to these seasons, like we've just given an example that in the same month of Adar is where Moses alizaliwa, the same Moses alikufa. And also the same month of Adar is where they threw lots, and then they chose the Jews to be killed during that season. And then when you read the book of Esther, we realize when the tables were turning, it's Haman who died during that season of Adar. So just like Sue is saying, month of Adar is a month of struggles and victory at the same time. It's where we are going. It's a month where you'll meet all those struggles, and then there's also victory in those triumphs.
Very true. So if you have been in situations where you see this will either finish you or completely elevate you, that's the same thing that happens around the month of Adar. Because as our topic says, do not be silent. It is not really a time to shrink to your problems. It's a time to arise to it. Like Esther rose. Esther rose in a time of struggle, and God came through for them. So it is a time that you cannot be silent over whatever is going on. It is a time that God prepares you for big things, because after the plague of the Israelites, the next thing that happened was that they were delivered from the hand of Pharaoh. So it is a time also that God elevates you from a place that you were of probably struggle or suffering, or your end was near.
Very true.
Yes.
Yeah, and in case you are really wondering, sometimes the Bible says we perish because we lack knowledge.
Yes.
And the knowledge is in the Bible. So if, in case you're wondering, I've never heard of this Adar. What is Adar? Now that you have told you can, when you read the book of Esther, you can go through it and understand that there are biblical months, and the month of Adar was the 12th month of the Bible. So when you know that month and you relate it to your day-to-day life, it is easy to understand the times and season and know how you are expected to conquer that. Like right now, you'll know, it's the season. That's why I'm going through this. I'm expected to do what? I'm expected to rise up and pray, to rise up and fast, just like Esther. So it's a month where the struggles might come. But now, the reason why we are discussing about this month is just to let you know and understand that these are the seasons that God has created, and God expects us to be so aware, so awakened in the spirit, and understand such times like this and know how to overcome.
So this is a season that God worked to deliver.
Very true.
To deliver people. And you need to understand that God still is working regardless of your struggle. So it does not mean you die with your struggle. That's why we are saying it is a time for you, woman of God, not to be silent, but like Esther, to arise to the occasion. So hence our topic today is do not be silent. Have you been in situations where you think it is easier to shrink. It is easier to be the person that you were before, because the quest that is before you is so great that you cannot fit in their shoes, because this is the season where God enables you to fit in those shoes and fight whatever that is ahead
of you.
Yes.
Yes. It's the season that God expects you to rise. Just like Esther, rise. And you're not just rising. We see that at that time is where Mordecai approached Esther and told Esther that she needs to arise.
Yeah.
This time, that if she doesn't do that, God is going to raise someone.
Yes, I think we saw it in the book of Esther, chapter 4, verse
around 13.
Around 13, where he was saying
14.
Yeah, 14, where he was saying that this is your time. If you be silent right now, the Lord will find help from elsewhere. Will find someone to help and use. He will find someone to use from elsewhere.
Very true.
And maybe the Lord has raised you for such a time as this. So if you use that phrase and you're a Christian and say, for such a time as this, yes, it is in the book of I think
Esther, the book of Esther 4:14,
and it says, for if you remain silent completely, oopsie, it has gone. So if you remain silent, if you remain completely silent of this time, relief and deliverance will arise for the Jews from another place. But you and your father's house will perish. Yet who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this. For such a time as this. Were you meant for such a time as this?
That you should not remain, that God is not short of options.
Yeah.
You are saying that God is not short of options. If has put you in that position, rise and take up your position.
Yeah.
Otherwise, God cannot raise you up to that place, up to that level, for you just to stay.
Yeah.
You just to sit and watch.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And we were even saying that sometimes when God elevates us to a position, to a higher position than we were before, it is for a specific assignment. It is for a specific purpose. And if you miss it, you will perish.
Very true.
You will perish. So wherever you are at, whatever place that you are at, you need to understand the purpose and the assignment that God has put you there for. We also talked about how God can also replace.
Very true.
Because this verse clearly says that if you remain silent, if you keep acting like queen there alone on your own, God will find help from elsewhere. He will find a help. You see, like the way Saul and David, the way David replaced Saul even when Saul was still king. The Lord has a way of raising people from to replace the ones that he has given assignment to do.
Yeah. See, God is not short of options. He does not lack options and just say, I don't have options, that's why I'm hanging on you. No, he raises you that place and you must do his purpose.
Yes.
Yeah. And it is not raising you up to that place because he thinks you can. He knows you can do it. So you need to rise up to the occasion, rise up to that position that God has put you. And remember, when I was reading this book of Esther, I realized Esther did not just rise up to that level. There was a process of preparation.
God has prepared them.
God, even though God is not mentioned in the book of Esther, but you are seeing God working behind the scenes. You are seeing God working behind the scenes and supporting Esther throughout this, from the time she entered into the palace and through even in decision making and everything. So God was not raising Esther up to that point of being a queen for her now to sit down and relax. But that's what happens to our day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Sometimes Mungu anatuweka in a position of a higher position of leadership, of authority, and of position tu yenye iko tu na so many things, and then we go there and relax. We forget that hatukuwa tunareziwa in that place for nothing. Take for example, in families. Me, I like using the example of families. God can raise one person in your family. And then maybe they just be blessed with wealth. And then maybe God has chosen you in that family to raise you so that you can be able to take your family out of the poverty, out of the struggle of the poverty, out of the bondage. But you get up to that level and now you forget.
Yeah, you forget. And you know, the Bible even says that for a light in the book of Matthew, that a light is not to be hidden in a bowl. It is for it to be set out and light the world. Yes, we are like cities on a hill. So if God raises you up, if there is a place that God has called you to take position, to take place, to arise and speak, do not sit on it, because it is for such a time as this. So for today, it's more of a challenge. Like, what are you sitting on? What is that problem that you've been spectating for a long time? And God is actually telling you, you are the source, you are the answer. You know how many times you keep praying and praying that God comes through? Maybe sometimes you are the answer to that prayer. You cannot be lazy to be the answers to the prayers that we want to see. Yeah.
And what gives me goosebumps is when I hear that God can raise someone to replace you.
Yes.
Wow. But then those
fast.
are just not words. That's so powerful. If God, every time, like in my day-to-day life, I always remind myself. So God, you mean you can raise someone? You have put me in a position and I'm not doing anything. It's just so easy.
Yeah.
Do away with you and bring someone. You don't lack of options. So for me, I think that's a taker.
It's also very ignorant, because you know that even if you have to step up to that position of doing what God wants you to do, it will not even be by your own strength that you do. It will just be Him doing it all over again, but using you. But because we are the people that we are, we become ignorant and lazy and just sit back and watch. And right there, or disobey. And right there, God finds someone to replace. You know, another example, I think, is of Samson. When Samson, the strong guy, was being lied to by Elijah a lot of times and all that. And Delilah was trying to ask him, where is the source of your strength? Where is the source of your strength? And he lied until the last time he told
like,
the
let
truth.
me just say.
Yes. But you know, the Bible right there says the Spirit of the Lord, he woke up as Kitambo, when he lies, he used to wake up as usual and unties himself. But the last time, the Bible says that Samson did not know that the Holy Spirit had left him. So when he woke up, because he was too familiar, akapata haizi toka. Yeah, and that's exactly what God does when we sit on what He has given you. When we use it wrongly, when we disobey Him with His point of elevation, it is not by your strength that you are there. He has prepared you for that. So at the end of the day, the least you can do is what He expects you to do.
You allow yourself to be used as a vessel. You be broken, let God use you. Yeah.
So it is a time that you cannot dare be silent, regardless of whatever is on.
Whatever it is going on, whatever it is that you're going through, just know that God doesn't expect you to be silent. You're supposed to arise, just like Esther.
Yeah.
All right, let us go through the comments section. We have, for those who are watching us, kindly you can share your views on our comment section. Let us know how you are understanding this book of Esther and the months that you are talking about. So Mary Munyase is saying your point of elevation is for others. He's also saying help can come from elsewhere. Don't just sit there. Arise.
Arise. Because God has an intention of using you. And I think it shows me that every blessing that you have, everything that God has given you is for Himself. Is for Him to use it for others. It is not for you alone. It is not for you to keep it and to own it. It is for Him to use it for His glory to be seen more and more and more. There is this song we always say, umenifanya kuwa baraka ili nami nibariki. Yani it's not just about you
alone.
Yes, it has never actually been about you. It has always been about God's plan through you. Yeah.
So I think today we just want us to understand that whatever position that God has placed us in life, it's not about us. It's just not about us. Don't be selfish. Don't just think about you, yourself, and your family.
Yeah.
There's an assignment that God has put on you. And if you don't understand it, please go and seek God in prayer. He will show you. He did not just put you there for fun. There's an assignment. Whatever position you are, be it even in family, whether it's ministry, career-wise, there's an assignment of God in every area of life. Even if it is, sometimes we always think God's assignment is only done in church.
Yeah.
That's where you can fulfill God's assignment. But do you know, even in your workplaces, there's an assignment of God. Whether you are the boss or you are the employee, you have an assignment.
That's true.
And that assignment, you are an Esther. That God is taking you through a process that you are going to fulfill that assignment when that time comes. So as you work through that process, as you go through, just prepare yourself. Just know we expect you not to be silent. Don't arise and remain silent. Yes.
And guess what? Deliverance is coming. So may that be your motivation. May that be your strength. That deliverance is still coming. That there is a breakthrough that is on the way. You just need someone to, God just needs to use you to get to that. They say that the harvest is in plenty, but the laborers are few. So you have to show up as a laborer for us to acquire the harvest. Yeah? So you can also tell us, I think it's also important to engage our viewers and tell us what are these things that hinder you from rising. What are these things that stop you from rising up to the occasion or taking place or becoming the solution to that problem that you can see? So talk to us through our comments and share to your friends so that you can watch together and discuss together as well.
Yes. All right. I think we need to go for a break.
Yeah. The director says we go for a small break, then we'll be right back.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Are you ready to be inspired, empowered, and uplifted? Get ready for a brand new show that celebrates the incredible journey of women everywhere.
From the comfort of your home, interact with us through our YouTube and Facebook channel, Jesus Prevails Church, for an hour filled with inspiration, wisdom, and faith. It is a platform where we delve into stories of remarkable women who blossom and thrive through grace, beauty, and modesty.
As we embark on this incredible journey together, we draw inspiration from Proverbs 31, 10 to 12. In a world where noble character is a rare gem, there shines a woman who embodies the essence of Proverbs 31.
Join us every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. as we embark on an interactive session like no other.
Introducing the Woman of Excellence Show. Join us for the Woman of Excellence Show.
Because you, my friend,
are a woman of excellence. Are you ready to be inspired, empowered, and uplifted? Get ready for a brand new show that celebrates the incredible journey of women everywhere.
From the comfort of your home, interact with us through our YouTube and Facebook channel, Jesus Prevails Church, for an hour filled with inspiration, wisdom, and faith. It is a platform where we delve into stories of remarkable women who blossom and thrive through grace, beauty, and modesty.
As we embark on this incredible journey together.
Hello, people. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show. As you were talking about Esther and the book of Esther, and our topic today again is do not be silent. Do not sit and watch. Do not be a spectator. Yeah. May God give you relevance to the situation that He has put you in, right?
Very true.
Yeah, and we've talked about how now Mordecai is calling upon Esther to come and help with the situation that they are in as Jews, because there's a plot that they should all be executed. Yeah. So we want to see how Esther rose to the occasion, how Esther did not stay quiet. What did Esther do? What are the steps? What is the strategy that Esther had? And it's interesting to see that the first thing that Esther told Mordecai is that she will need people to pray and fast.
Very true.
Yeah? Let's talk about that. How prayer and fasting is a way of not being silent to the situation that you're going through. Yeah? The importance of prayer.
For me, I think Esther was very wise. At that point where Mordecai came to her, she knew, of course, Esther really understood her position in the presence of king. She knew who she was.
Yeah.
She was a queen, so she had an influence over the king. But she did not just take herself there with the beauty. She acknowledged God. For me, the fact that Esther went back and realized, this one, I cannot do it alone. It's not by might, not by power, but the Spirit of God. She went back to seek God. And that's why Esther gathered her people and told Mordecai also to go and tell the Jews to go and fast and pray. Esther knew, apart from just her presence and her position she had, the position and the influence she had over the king, that was not enough. That was not what is going to help her. So she went to seek God. And for her just to acknowledging that this one she cannot do it by herself, and letting people help her in prayer and fasting. For me, that was so wise of Esther. She was very smart. I like the approach that she put God first. Before her problem.
Yes. Prayer is a way of putting God first.
Very true.
Yes. Yeah. I remember how Moses told the Lord that if without your presence, we are not going anywhere. Yeah. So literally, as I was saying, without God having me,
I'm not
going before me, there's nowhere I'm going. And I also remember, I think one of the sermons in church that the apostle said that prayer has a way of giving God access to the situation. So are you going through a problem that you don't know how to solve? The first thing you should do is pray, because apart from just God going before you, you actually open a door for him to enter into the situation and deal with the situation. Because there's no way that you will deal with the situation and then pray later. No. Yeah. You need God to go before you. But
unfortunately, that's what we do.
Yeah. Yes.
Tunaendanga kikiumana, that's when you remember kuna kuanga na Mungu. But then we always say, but they tuliomba. Most of the time, that's a statement that always comes.
That's true. So God, when we pray, we give God an access. We tell him, haya, sasa Mungu ebu ingia hapa. Uende mbele yetu. Like Moses said, I want you to show us your glory. Show me your glory. I was about to divert, but no. That story, Moses and the presence of God really excites me. But yes, the point is that prayer gives God access.
Yes. And also shows your total dependency on God.
Yeah. So you can also tell us, how much have you learned from prayer? What difference does prayer bring to you? What does prayer do in your the situations that you go through
in your life? Yeah. Have you prayed about what was the outcome?
Yeah.
Do you put prayer first? Just let us know through our comment section.
Talk to us.
Yes.
I think it's also important to see intercession in this case, because it's still part of the prayer. That Esther did not just go and pray alone.
No.
All the Jews went into prayer and fasting. Yeah. That sometimes you don't have to carry the burden alone. Yes. You can ask for people to intercede for you. People who will carry the burden like you have, like it's theirs.
Yes.
Yeah. They will share the burden. Yani kila mtu aliomba ni kama yeye ndo anaenda kuona king. Nani Esther alikuwa anaenda kuona king akiwa peke yake. So intercession is important. Having people to share the problem with and pray about it with you is important. So don't die alone. God has given us the fellowship of brethren. Yes. So that we can share our problems together and pray about them and God hears. Mungu husikia maombi.
Yes, and you are just like you are talking about prayer and intercession, and you are saying even as you pray and fast, or even as you seek people to intercede, maybe in a certain situation over your life. Don't carry that burden alone. We are saying you seek people to intercede, but also you are saying. Even as you approach people to intercede for you, to help you, just like Esther told her maids, those maids around her, right, to pray. He told the Jews to pray, Mordecai, and everyone fasted and pray. The same way you can also, if you have an issue, let people know. They can help you pray about it. You can pray together. But also, you as a person, you need also to know that you are an intercessor, you yourself. You are an intercessor. So there are people who God has put in your life of a higher level, people in authority. Just like the way we are expected to pray for our leaders, our president, and everything.
That is true.
They need our intercession. They need our prayer. So you as an individual, wherever you are watching us from, or wherever you are, even us, we are expected to pray for even those people who are in leadership.
That's
we don't just
true.
sit there and say, alikuanga alishindwa.
Because Esther was a queen. Literally, all those people went to pray for a queen to go before the king. So we need to pray for those people we look up to for help.
Very
we
true.
need to pray for those tunachekelenga tukisema wale uncle tutafutia kazi. We need to pray for those people to keep having network for us to get those jobs. We need to pray for those people who are above us. You see, like how Moses was praying and Kina Aaron would come and hold his hands up, because you need those people. Every leader, regardless of how mighty the man is, they need to be helped, so that at the end of the day, the victory is for everybody. Because when he raised his hands, then their army was winning. So we need people to pray for those that are in leadership. To pray for those that are in high authority. To pray for the nations, to pray for our presidents. We keep talking about them so much, but no one ever prays for them.
Very true.
And the Lord is the Lord of all flesh. What is too hard for him?
Nothing. So you are an intercessor. You are expected not just to pray for yourself, but to pray for one another.
Yes. You are expected to pray. For it is important to have backup.
Yes. Backup ni muhimu.
Yani Esther akwanenda hapo kama alikuwa a whole army. God had made her an entire army. And we also read that Asher was blessed to be a whole army, a soldier. Yes. So you are a soldier. You are a man of war.
You are fully equipped.
You're fully equipped.
Yes, and you are ready for the war.
Yes, and God has prepared you for this entire time for you not to be silent right now.
Please don't be silent. Whatever it is that is happening around you that you do not work. Remember, your place of work can be Esther's palace. It can be Esther that needs your prayer. Your place, your family can be your Esther that needs now your backup for fasting and prayer. Because as you've said, the victory is not just for the family, it also becomes to you. Not for the job, it also goes to you because it's a win-win.
It's a win-win. So you need to pray. So if your prayer rooms, your prayer closets were dusty and any mtoe vumbi, tuanze kuomba tena. Because itahitaji maombi.
Itahitaji uombe.
Itahitaji uombe.
Men always ought to pray.
Yes. It also says pray without ceasing. Pray without stopping. And be devoted to prayer. So as you continue, we also see another way that Esther, I hope you're still talking to us and telling us how prayer is important in the circumstances that we go through. The next way that Esther did not stay silent is through, she had courage. She did not shrink to the problem. She rose up to the occasion. And for me, I see courage. And she did not have a plan B.
No.
Ati king akikataa sasa, tutatafuta ule mse ako karibu na king tumwambie nini. Ilikuwa, she said, if I perish, I perish. Kakienda kameenda. Yani, tukiisha tumeisha. But she had courage. She rose up to the occasion. And as I was telling you, it reminded me of that story, the 4 lepers who said, if now let's go. If we stay here, we die.
Yes.
If I go, I die. So if Esther was to keep quiet, there was probably perish.
All of them, they will have perished.
Actually, the verse 14 says, you will perish, you and your family. And if she goes, she might also perish. But let me just go. Let me go. And you see, breakthrough is always on the way, because time and time again, God did it. Even before, he did it with those leprous men. And he made their feet like that of an army. An army again. He made like that. He made their feet like that of an army. And in the same way, God came through for Esther. There was a lot of favor before the king. So courage is important. Do not fear. The Bible says in the book of Joshua, haven't I told you, haven't I commanded you, be not, be of good courage, and the Lord shall give you good success. So you need to have courage to step up. Do not shrink. Most of us shrink actually to the problem.
Most of the time.
Tunasema tunaenda diko mtu anakwambia hata mimi ilinifanyikia hivyo ni sawa tu.
You are 50-50 about it.
You're just very okay with the problem. You even somehow find a way of making yourself complacent.
But you see, we don't like.
With the
of
problem.
course, we don't like the if I perish, I perish. We don't like that part.
No one does if I perish. People don't like it. People prefer the problem is that they even make room for it.
We must succeed, and we'll do whatever it takes for us to succeed.
Yes. And Esther has taught us that you have to have good courage. Yes. So have good courage today.
And having also God as your backup.
Yes.
Let me go through the comment section. Esther Mushira is saying, powerful. Esther Mushira, thank you for tuning in. We have Lorraine. Lorraine, hi. Lorraine is saying, leadership skills for Esther led her to bring people together and pray. As a leader, she influenced others positively for the kingdom of God. Yes. That is very true, Lorraine.
Esther had influence.
And then I think, those are the comments. Please kindly keep on commenting. Let us know your thoughts.
So I think it also took wisdom for Esther to bring the people and commune them, as Lorraine is saying, and bring them together for prayer. Because it is not just, most people will say, Simi, I've gone before the king before. You've done this before. They will be familiar with the place, but you need to realize the help comes from God. It is never about you. Yes.
And also Esther, for me, I find her to be so wise, because even the way she approached this whole issue, she had a lot of wisdom. She just didn't just rush into making decisions. She took time, and apart from just going to seek God and praying about it, she was very wise, even approaching the king about the story of Haman. She was very, very, very wise. And we see Esther calling the king together with Haman to have a table, prepared a table. But Esther knew exactly what she was doing. She just didn't set up a table for nothing. She was very wise. She knew exactly what she was doing. And she knew my people are in danger, and they are really depending on me. Because most of the time, it's the part of wisdom that sometimes I think we normally lack. Because we have the power. I think there is a difference between power and position. You can have power, you can have that power, but you don't have wisdom. So you end up messing everything. But for Esther, we see she just didn't only have power, she had wisdom. So every decision that she made came through because of she was wise. And then she also seek that wisdom from God. She didn't just make her own decision. Remember, she was Niye peke yake. There was no any other Jew in that place.
It reminds me of how we normally are taught about capacity, that when God raises you to a point of such elevation, like Esther was a queen, it is important to have capacity, to know to have space to hold that that position that power that you have. Because if you don't know how to hold it, then you will use it in a wrong way. Or you will use it in the way that is not intended for it. I think the best example, the most literal example I have in mind is like when you see a wire, a steamer, equal to
Open.
It has power that can be used so well. But if it is not properly insulated, ikikuwa insulated, italeta steamer, italeta mwangaza, it will charge your phone. But when the wire is just live, it is not held by anything, it will be of harm. And when God raises us, He prepares us, He insulates us, He gives us capacity to withhold the power. But if you rush to the position, or if you do not use wisdom, or if you do not pay attention to how much God has prepared you, you'll be like the live wire. You will just be a distraction. You will just kill. You will just cause fires where they were not supposed to be caused. So it is important for us to have the capacity, the strength, the stamina for us to navigate through the problems that we are facing around us. For us to save an entire nation, for us to save your entire family, for us for God to use you, then He has to build capacity in you. And I think that's why God making Esther queen was giving her capacity, because there's no way she would have saved the Jews if they were all in the same level. That's why Mordecai has to go to the queen, because she's elevated. So we have to pray for God to give us capacity, to raise us to positions where He can use us, and that we can have influence to even command an entire nation to pray. Because you know God is bringing breakthrough. So you shall not be quiet. You shall not sit still and shrink, because
God has given you the capacity. God has put you in that position because He knows you are the right person. The most interesting part about the book of Esther, I was, as you were speaking, I was thinking about Queen Vashti, and I was wondering, what if she had a purpose that also God had placed there for, and because of her carelessness, she lost it. It's just that the Bible doesn't talk more about her. But I'm just wondering, maybe also she had a purpose, maybe and about...
God replaced her.
And that's how God replaced her very fast. And maybe also she had maybe a purpose, maybe to serve her people or something. But because she didn't do, like, let me raise another one. That's where Esther comes in.
God, in fact, God might need you, but I think you need Him more.
I think we need God more than we need
He might choose you. Yes, He chooses you, but you need Him. You need Him more. So choosing is an option. He can take you and not take. He can favor you and not favor this other person. It's actually very unfair. And in the same way, He can replace you. So this ought to keep us very humble and see ourselves in a place of a lot of privilege, that the Maker of heaven and earth has chosen you, has seen you as Miriam, has seen me as Suzzane. Because it's not normal. There are so many Jewish women that were there, but God chose Hadassah. So you ought to know that the place that the Lord has seen you is not normal. You are special and you matter to Him. So you ought to do how much you matter to. You ought to reciprocate that. Although there's nothing that can ever pay back, nothing is enough to pay back. But you ought to act
accordingly.
Yes.
It's so interesting how you are saying that God chooses us, God raises us. He can raise you even to rule over nations. But the fact remains that you need Him.
Yes.
No matter the position anakupeleka, you need Him. He'll raise you, yes, but you need Him.
Yes, God does not work with independent women.
You need Him.
God works with very dependent women.
Yes, He wants you to even as you are going up and up and up.
Yes,
totally depend on Him.
Yes,
because you are replaceable.
Yes.
You are very, very replaceable. And when God leaves you, when God leaves your presence, as in, don't want
will not. You will turn out like Samson. You'll wake up thinking, when I stand on this pulpit, I can still speak the way I used to. But no, God already alishatoka. Or you will stand thinking, when I enter that interview room, they will just find favor like they have found favor. The presence of the Lord actually left you because you got too familiar. You cannot get familiar with how God has prepared and has taught us. Because, in fact, every time you depend on Him, you actually see how much you need Him. Yes.
Every time you depend on Him, you feel you need Him more than even you needed Him.
Yes.
Yeah. So we ought to really depend on God in everything. That when God rises you to a level in life, He needs you. If you are prayerful, you need to be more prayerful. Yeah. If you are, if you raised you there for maybe to save your people, or means you need to now to be more, to work extra harder. Unajitia nguvu zaidi. And I know most of the time at that level is where sometimes you always feel weak and you feel like, I think, giving up, and so it really happens most of the time. But for me, I've learned through the book of Esther that God has my back. God has my back, and God is taking me through this process. And there is victory at the end of it.
Yeah, even though unajua kwa hii book hakuna ati an angel appeared, hakuna ati the prophet of the Lord was sent by, hakuna vitu kama hizo. But even though you are not seeing them, He is still there.
Yeah.
He is still in every single process of it all. There is a story of those kings that were in the desert, and the Bible said, I think it's in the book of Kings. I'll start looking for the scriptures, I'm sorry. And it says that the kings were stranded in the desert and they were thirsty, and their cattle and all those herdsmen were going to die because there was no. And the word of the Lord came through the prophet and said, there shall be no wind, there shall be no rain, there shall be no... But as you keep digging, you will find water in trenches. So it means that even as much as you keep pressing, there might not be wind, there might not be signs that things are going to turn, there might not be things that are going to change around you, or tomorrow you go to the United States or something, but as you keep seeking the Lord, as you keep praying to the Lord, there shall be trenches of water for you to feed on. So worry not, because breakthrough either way is coming.
Very true.
Are there any comments? We are about to wrap up.
The comments. Let me say deliverance. Mary Munyesa is saying deliverance is coming through for you. I think those are the other comments we've read.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it has been a challenge, and I think it's a challenge even to you, our viewers, that it is not a time to shrink. It is a time to pray.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you are saying whatever it is that is holding you back, let it go. Let it go. Whatever it is that is keeping you stand still, taking you backward, let it go, and so that you may arise up to where God wants you to be.
Yes.
You may arise up from the point of silence and speak out, just as in you blow, you explore yourself as God is waiting for you. God is waiting for you to allow Him to use you to that in your life, at that point of or purpose where He's raising you up to.
Yeah.
So just open your hearts to Him.
And it might not be a big thing. It might just be asking the King.
Very true.
Yes, it might just be going before the King and the King having a pleasure in your sight. It might be something very small, but the Lord will always amplify it because He has used you to do even that small thing. So do not, I'm sure even Esther at this point was battling, saying maybe it's easier to be Hadassah. Me hatastaki kuwa queen anymore. She must have struggled with those things.
She had her personal struggles.
Yes,
apart from
maybe her personal struggles. She was like, take me back to normal problems. Why am I trying to solve such a big problem? But the Lord was with her through it all, and she did not shrink. Yes, the word is shrink. She did not shrink to Hadassah. She did not go back. She did not waver. She stood firm. She put her foot on the ground and she stood in the gap. So may God give you that grace and that strength that you shall be a source of joy to people around you.
Yeah. As we come to the end of this show, we pray that God may help you to arise to that position that He desires you to be, and that you shall not remain silent. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Miriam Wambua. I've been your host, and
I've been Suzzane, Calisto. It's always a pleasure to have you guys. See you next episode. We can't wait to see you. We have great things in store for you.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night. Have a lovely evening.
Are you ready to be inspired, empowered, and uplifted? Get ready for a brand new show that celebrates the incredible journey of women everywhere.
From the comfort of your home, interact with us through our YouTube and Facebook channel, Jesus Prevails Church, for an hour filled with inspiration, wisdom, and faith. It is a platform where we delve into stories of remarkable women who blossom and thrive through grace, beauty, and modesty.
As we embark on this incredible journey together, we draw inspiration from Proverbs 31:10-12. In a world where noble character is a rare gem, there shines a woman who embodies the essence of Proverbs 31.
Join us every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. as we embark on an interactive session like no other. Introducing
The Woman of Excellence Show. Join us for the Woman of Excellence Show.
Because you, my friend,
are a woman of excellence.